Hello, this is Edwin Dearborn coming to you live on Facebook. And I want to talk to you, specifically you, about how you can effectively defend your liberty as an American. Now, if you go earlier on my feed in Facebook, you're going to see I shared an article that I wrote 7 years ago, which is an action checklist for Americans on how to defend liberty. 7 points on how to defend liberty. Not only do I go in depth on each point, but I also give relevant quotes from American founders and from findings from the Supreme Court about each and every point. So it's not just me saying that this is the way to defend freedom, it's me backing it up with historical precedents and quotes from our forefathers and our Supreme Court. So right now, it's time to get our confront in on what's actually happening. If liberty is extinguished from America, it's game over on this planet. I want you to really get that. If liberty and constitutional rights are destroyed in this country, tyranny will reign across the planet. America is the shining beacon. It is the hope for the rest of the world. If you don't believe me, go travel to Africa, go travel to Asia like I have, go travel to the Caribbean like I have, go to Europe like I have, talk to people in other countries on Zoom calls like I have, talk to people that have fled here from Vietnam or Iran, and they will tell you that their people, millions of them, would love to come to America right now if they could. If we opened up the entire world to the United States, half the world would show up right now. Because they know that we're it. We're the place to be. Even with all our imperfections, even with all our racist problems, supposedly, with everything else, this is the place to be. So, sorry about that. What if we stop defending that liberty? We're not securing the homeland. So it is time, and as Samuel Adams said, and I'm paraphrasing, it does not take a large amount of people to defend freedom. This is why American patriots during the Revolutionary War and the late 1700s were called 3%ers, because only 3% of Americans actually fought in the Revolutionary War. 3%. It does not take a vast majority of people to change things. It takes 3 to 5% of a population to do something to actually turn the tide. So what do? Number one, here's step number one. You need to understand your rights. If you understand your rights, then you can defend your rights. If you don't understand your rights, then you're going to fall for the bullshit of other people defining what your rights are. This takes a little bit of homework. It takes a little bit of reading. Go on YouTube and watch videos. Read books about what constitutional rights are. You know, I understand you think they're all guaranteed. I guarantee you they're not guaranteed. The only thing that we can do right now is to understand our laws and then to start speaking out and defending them. If you don't understand your rights, you're going to lose them. If you don't defend your rights, you're going to lose them. If you don't apply your rights, you're going to lose them. This is just Freedom 101. Understand and act. So if there's a bunch of stupid people that don't know what their rights are and they're having those rights interpreted for them by people with ulterior motives, guess what happens? They start to believe the propaganda. They start to believe the lies. Once you become educated, now it is upon you as a responsibility to begin educating others. Take select quotes or videos and start showing them to your children at home. Start sharing them on social media. Start talking about them on the phone with the people. I had a business owner from Nevada call me yesterday that I used to consult, and he said they've got officials walking into my business to make sure that I'm applying social distancing. And I told them, you know what I would have done? I would have turned on my phone camera. I would have filmed it. I would have told them to leave my office until they come back with a warrant. And I would have videoed the whole thing. And if they gave me any shit, I would have told them to leave and come back with a warrant, and then I'm calling my lawyer. And he's like, you're right, I should have done that. See, if 5% of the people actually had done that when these Gestapo type people walked into your business and then actually contacted their lawyer and then filed a lawsuit, they'd stop doing it. But they continue to do it because people cower in fear. That's a fact. Last weekend, I was in Southern California, and I walked into an Albertsons, and everybody in California is in terror. Everybody's wearing a mask, big signs. I walk in with no mask, ready to get out my phone, ready to defend my rights. You can't force me to wear a mask. Do you know what? Not one person said. I walked through the entire shop asking for directions on where to get the pancake mix and where to get the this and where to get that. And not one person stopped me. And everybody that was wearing a mask looked at me in shock. Why did I do it? Because I want to be the agent of change. I want to say, you know what? I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to be your little terrorist bitch. Not going to do it. And I'm going to get out my camera and I'm going to film you. I'm going to tell you that it is against my beliefs to wear the mask. You can't force me to do it. And I'm going to use that video and I'm going to contact my lawyer. Now, if more Americans did this, I guarantee you the time will change. The tide will change. If more Americans, there were protests in Huntington Beach and state capitals all over the United States. The problem was only 200 or 300 people showed up. If 200,000 people showed up, I guarantee you it would have had an impact. Well, where were the other people? They were staying inside afraid. So I'm asking you to not only get educated about your rights, but to actually do something. Show up at the next protest. Call your governor. Tweet your governor with his handle and tell him that you're tired of this, that you're going to vote him out of office. I'm telling you, if we do not rise up, you and I individually, and start calling our governor and tweeting our governor and showing up to the protests and exercising our First Amendment right, what we're training them to believe is that we don't care, that we believe the propaganda. Our lack of activity is validating their hyper activity to take away the freedom. We are training them. We are telling them, we are signaling them that we are their psychological slave through our inactivity. I'm literally getting in arguments with my friends who are in fear about the disease. And I show them the science that 0.003% of the people who get coronavirus die, meaning 99.97% of the people that get coronavirus do not die. And the people that do die, most of them have pre-existing conditions. And now we're willing to shut down our economy, destroy the greatest nation on earth, put 33 million people out of work, which is going to turn into higher suicides, more crime, black market activities so that they can survive, loneliness, depression, anxiety, all because we're afraid that 0.003% of the people will die. This is crazy. This is crazy. But I'm going to tell you something that's crazier, is when a supposedly free American does absolutely nothing. Martin Luther King Jr. once said that to be silent about evil is to be complicit with evil. It's a hard thing to confront. If you're silent about evil, you are complicit, meaning you are in agreement with it. There's two sides of this battle. There's the people who are evil and silent about it. And then there's the people who are awake, doing something about it, and talking about it on social media, to their friends on the phone, at the store. See, Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. spoke out against oppression, and they were arrested. And they were arrested because everything they did was quote unquote illegal. I want you to get that. These men were arrested under laws. Hitler, when he ran Germany, everything he did was legal. So just because it's legal doesn't mean that it is right. And right now, unconstitutional laws are being passed. So for me, to violate an unconstitutional law is not against the law. And like Martin Luther King Jr. and like Gandhi, I am willing to go to jail. I'm willing to not wear my mask. I am willing to go back to work. I am willing to not follow their unconstitutional laws. Because the laws themselves are in violation of the supreme law of this country. But they'll get away with it if we're silent. They're going to get away with it if we don't show up to our next protest. They're going to get away with it if we don't vote these bums out of office. They're going to get away with it if we are not the squeaky wheel. And it is time that you, yes, you, become a squeaky wheel. Otherwise, you're complicit. Put that in your coffee and drink it. If you are silent about the oppression, then you are actively complicit with the oppression. I want you to just think for a moment how much pain and anguish and lives were lost to give us this freedom. How many men died at Gettysburg in 3 days? 90,000. What was the fear like landing on Omaha Beach to defend our freedom? My father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, every Dearborn since 1775, and every generation has defended this nation. Blood was spilled, lives were given, limbs were lost. And here I am, the bearer of that gift called liberty, and I'm too afraid to pay my price? What is our price for that gift that was given to us? To show up to a protest? That's easy compared to getting off of a landing craft at Omaha Beach. I just got to tweet or call my governor. That's easy compared to grabbing a musket at Gettysburg. Anything that I am asked to do right now to defend my liberty given to me by the blood of those before me is so much easier to pay. And if I don't do that, it's a slap in the face to those people. So, I speak out. I show up at protests legally. I tweet. I call my governor. I speak to my friends. I show up. And I'm vocal because that's my price. I'm asking you to look deep into your heart and ask yourself, what are you going to change as an American citizen? Will you commit yourself to learning about your rights? Will you commit yourself to defend your rights? Will you commit yourself to speaking out at all times? If we lose this battle, I'm telling you, there's bigger battles that are coming our way. Soon they'll be confiscating our guns. Soon they'll be determining who's essential and who is not. Soon they will mandatory give us drugs for our safety. give an inch, they take a mile. Governments, once they seize liberty, they very rarely give it back. History will prove me correct. So, which side of history do you stand on, my friend? Are you complicit with the evil? Or are you going to do something about it? The choice is yours. Ethics is a personal thing. We all have to look at ourselves in the mirror based on the choices we've made and we haven't made. These are the choices I've made. And I'm willing to sacrifice my person and my property for that. Otherwise, I'm in treason to my oath to the Constitution. But that's me. That's not you. But if it is you, I hope you join me in this fight to protect America. Be well. Be safe. God bless America. Talk to you soon.